Well, I think it's time we took a trip. I think it's time we took a trip all the way to the year 2099. I'm going to be painting Spider-Man 2099. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. I hope you're having a fantastic day. I'm having an alright one. It's not that hot. So today I'm going to be doing a watercolor for you guys. But it's not just any watercolor. I'm actually going to be testing out some new brushes that a friend of mine got for me. But I'm going to be comparing them against some brushes that I got late last year, I think it was. First, I'll show you my kit. I'm going to give you a little tour of my my watercolor kit, which is, this is just like the mark making stuff. This is not actually watercolors, but it's a bit like my life. It's very disorganized and looks cluttered, but in fact it's much worse. So toothbrush for when you're painting overnight. This is just for spatter effects. All right. But the main thing I want to talk about here is these brushes. This is a a Neptune brush, along with this one and this one. And then these are synthetic squirrel hair brushes right here. So these are probably some of my favorite brushes. They hold a lot of water. Their ability to go from fine to bold is very sensitive. They're very soft brushes. So I really enjoy them. Actually, this is a blend. This is not entirely synthetic. This is entirely synthetic, the Neptune. These are a blend of synthetic and real. So these are some of my favorite brushes. I use them pretty often whenever I'm going to do like a big piece, a big watercolor piece or something like that. It's kind of my favorite stuff. But today, sorry if that was loud. I didn't realize. I forgot that the microphone is right there. A friend of mine got me some squirrel hair paintbrushes, which are pretty neat. If you don't know, squirrel hair just jumps right out at you. Squirrel hair is really, really good for getting nice texture and just holding water more than synthetic or even synthetic blend. Squirrel hair is real hair, so like natural hair, it absorbs water, it absorbs moisture, and it holds it longer than plastic would. So I'm very excited to use these. This is the biggest one that I have, and then yes, this is the smallest one I have. So it comes with 4. I opened this up already. I was gonna open it up on camera, but I got too excited about it. So I opened it up and I took a look at them. I washed them a little bit just so the glue or the whatever it is, the gel that they put on there, so it kind of stays together, holds its shape, comes off, so I can just kind of paint straight away. Really excited about it. I'm really looking forward to using these brushes. I also want to address something. I don't typically tell people this just because once they find out, they tend to treat me a little bit different. They're like, oh, I didn't know, I had no idea. I've known you for years and I had no idea. Here's the thing. I'll be very upfront about it. Yes, I am handsome. I get it. It's surprising. It shocked me. I didn't know I was good looking, and then all of a sudden I realized it, and I started telling people, and they're like, "Hey, did you know I was good looking?" They're like, "No," and then you're so handsome all the time. That's true, I am. So I shaved my beard a little bit to cool off, and I feel weird having long hair and like short beard. It was a little bit shorter earlier this week, so it felt more like stubble. And only me and like one other person can pull this off, by the name of Lorenzo Lamas. You remember him from the 90s? Pretty much every DC character was modeled after him. Stubble, a little bit of a mullet. It's pretty hot. He was in the Renegade TV show. The show had everything, man. Motorcycles. I guess that was all I had. No, casual racism. I didn't like it. What was I talking about? Oh. Alright, I'm gonna get to work, and we'll see what I can do. I'm really excited to use these brushes. We'll see what, I guess we'll see what mistakes I end up blaming them for. So let's begin. The reason I'm painting Spider-Man 2099, I'm not doing a comic review this time. I don't think he's had a series in like 3 years or so. It was like 2017, I think. Maybe 2016. I really don't remember. I remember the last time I got a Spider-Man 2099 comic book was when Hastings was still open. So it's been a little bit. So yeah, it was probably like 2016 maybe. Yeah, I'm actually doing this because a friend of mine at work, who's been a very active supporter of this channel, requested this probably before I even started the channel. They're like, "Are you gonna do a Spider-Man 2099?" I was like, "Maybe. I'll see what I can do." And I just never got around to it. So I'm finally getting around to it. I've got a lot of other stuff that I'm working on for other people, but I wanted to knock this one out before I started school again, and I'm too busy to do stuff like this for my videos. He's been very polite, so I am kind of casually asking, like, "So you think you're going to get around to doing all those videos that you said you were going to do?" Yes, I am going to get around to doing at least most of them. So this one's for you, buddy. The brushes worked wonderfully. Especially the big brush. So a bigger brush like this we'll usually call a mop brush. And the reason you call it a mop brush is because it acts like a mop. It just soaks up a bunch of water, and it just takes forever to run out of it. To talk a little bit about the watercolors I'm using, these are out of the tube. So these are wet watercolors. Typically I'll use the what are called cakes, which are just little chiclet looking blocks of watercolor. The main difference there, if you use out of the tube, it's easier to get more saturated colors. If you use the cakes, it's harder to do that. They're always going to look a little bit more transparent than if you used out of the tube. The plus side of the cakes is just that they're more portable. The tube stuff, it's a little harder to transport that stuff. Not impossible, it's just a little harder. It's a little less convenient than a cake. But these are Cotman sets, so it's a little bit lower grade than artist set. The drawing turned out all right. The whole painting actually turned out pretty good. I had some trouble with his left hand. I had in my head a very strong idea of what it was, but not a very clear idea of how the hand was supposed to be positioned and how it was supposed to look. So I had to kind of model it in front of a mirror to see, like, what the heck am I thinking about? So that's why you'll see me erase that hand like 3 or 4 times before I finally settle on a position for it. Spider-Man 2099 is a really cool costume design. Probably one of my favorite costume designs for Spider-Man. Between all of the ones that there have been with the Spider-Verse, which, I'll be honest with you, this is probably an unpopular opinion. I like the movie. I thought the movie was good. It was really good, really well animated, well written. I don't care for the idea of the Spider-Verse, the idea that there's multiple versions of Spider-Man, like Spider-Man Noir, the anime Spider-Man. I don't remember what that one's called. And then Spider-Pig I'm fine with. That was, you know, that was just supposed to be a gag in Marvel Comics back in the 70s or 80s or whatever. For me, it's just a little bit weird that there's a spider. It's maybe this is just me. It just seems a little bit too cash grabby. Like, Spider-Man's selling pretty well. Well, let's just make a bunch of Spider-Man and then we'll see what sticks. And we'll use the excuse of the multiverse. Okay, I guess. So, but for me, I keep thinking of how the 1990s story failed of like the clone saga, where the Peter Parker you knew was actually a clone of the original Peter Parker, and it just became this huge convoluted mess. And I was like, that's too complicated. Just have the one Spider-Man. I did understand, like, in the future, Peter Parker is gonna not be Spider-Man anymore, so you need the next Spider-Man. This is the Batman Beyond of Spider-Man. You have Miguel O'Hara becoming the next Spider-Man. I feel a little embarrassed that I don't actually know a whole lot of his story. Does he actually have powers? Because I don't remember that. The last time, like I said, I read one of his stories, it was back in 2017. My memory of that comic was not real strong, so I don't think it was very good. And then, like, I don't really remember reading his stories back in the 90s very well either. So I don't remember if it was just his suit that was superpowered or if he actually had superpowers. But to kind of combine those things I was talking about, I am actually kind of excited if they do bring in Spider-Man 2099 into the Spider-Verse movies, because like I said, really well written, really well animated movie. And then if you bring in this guy voiced by, I think it was Oscar Isaac, yeah, I'm on board with that. I like Oscar Isaac. He's a good actor. He looks like he's half asleep most of the time, but so do I. So maybe that's why I like him. Seems like a good dude. So in retrospect, I kind of wish I had done some like rain effects on this. I like the way most of it came out, but I think that's probably the only thing I would add if I could. But it's done. I'm happy with it. I'm moving on. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. What is your favorite version of Spider-Man, if you have one, or your favorite story with Spider-Man in it? I want to say thanks to everybody who's been supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. And I will see you guys in the next video. Until that day, good luck and Godspeed.